In this video, we're going to talk about a great way to burn exercise, which is the fetch. Now, Ruby here doesn't need a lot of exercise, but Gavin is a high energy dog and he definitely does. A walk is just not going to be a very efficient way of exercising him unless it's a really long walk, and most of us just don't have that time in our schedule. So I like to teach a dog to fetch. Now, Gavin likes to fetch at times when he wants to, especially in the house. Now, the guardians have pulled and snatched the ball away from him. And that results in a dog that doesn't want to give up the ball to you. So when I call it riding the wave. When Gavin comes in and he has the ball and lets me know he wants to play fetch, when I get the ball from him, I'm going to take it and as I throw it, I say the word fetch. When it lands, when the dog goes over, the second the dog picks it up with his mouth, I say the word fetch. Then what I do is I hold the treat out like this. Now if you hold the treat like this, you can see how the dog is tracking. So it's a cupped hand, slightly cupped like you're holding a marble in it. Now the first like 2 or 3 weeks that you do this, make sure every time you do this, there is a treat. And as soon as the dog sits, you lower it and say sit or come or whatever. In this case, we'd say fetch when the dog drops the ball. But at first, it's going to try to keep the ball in its mouth and take the treat at the same time. So you just hold it with your fingertips. As soon as the dog drops it, you pop the treat in their mouth, and then you simultaneously say the word fetch. So that's the third time we say the word fetch. Then what I do is when it drops, I just very subtly step on it with my foot. So I don't have to reach for it. The dog doesn't go back into guard mode. If you pull it away or try to snatch it, that puts the dog in guard mode and tells the dog, this is a high value item. I better hold on to this. I got the human's attention and this is what's going to keep them motivated to play with me. So as soon as they drop it, then I reach over. When I go to get it, I just pick it up very casually. I don't snatch. Now once the dog has done it enough, then I tell the dog to sit first. When it sits, then I throw it, say fetch as I throw it, say fetch when the dog touches it, and then fetch when the treat goes in their mouth. After you've done this enough, the dog will come over and start spinning the ball out at you. Now this is going to take a little bit of time. I would practice in the house until you can pick up the ball, even when the dog is not interested in playing fetch, and throw it, and he will go get it. You can play with both dogs as well, same command word. I would play with them separately because they're not equally matched athletically. Now, once you get to the point where you can get them to play fetch inside the house whenever they want, next time that the dog comes and brings you the ball, go outside and play fetch. Now, if it's nighttime, I get what's called a whistler. It's a ball that's the same size of a tennis ball. This is a mini ball, but a tennis ball that actually has 2 holes on either side, so when you throw it, it makes a whistling sound. It is also glow in the dark. So what I do is I hold it up to a light and just keep on twisting it like this until eventually it gets charged up, and it'll hold the light for, the green glow for like 15 minutes. I have a chucker, one of those things you can hold as you have to touch it, especially in this time of the year when it's kind of cold out. And I'll go out and play fetch. It's kind of funny. My dog is black. I can't see her, but I see this green ball jogging around, which is pretty cool. Now, fetch is a great maintenance exercise. So one of the things I found when it comes to exercising your dogs is sometimes variety is helpful. And what I like to do is journal it. So maybe we start a journal, and this time we just write down all the exercise we do for the dog. It's a Monday, February 13th. Took him out for a 45-minute walk at 6 a.m. At noon, I played fetch with the dog. Quick sidebar, never play fetch or an athletic endeavor with your dog where it has a full stomach. They have what's known as a distended stomach. It can flip up over their intestines and pressurize and explode. So they can walk, okay, we just don't want a lot of lateral movement. So play fetch and then feed after. So maybe you take her outside and play fetch 41 times, takes me 12 minutes with one of my dogs. And after 41 times, she's like not even walking all the way, she laid down in the yard halfway between us. Keep on varying the amount of fetching that you do until eventually you find out what amount your dog needs. And at the end of your day, grade the day. Okay, so we went for an hour walk in the morning, we played 41 fetches at lunchtime, and then at 5:30 we did another 25 fetches. And I would give that day a C+. Maybe the next day we only go over half an hour walk, and then we would play fetch at 11 o'clock, we do 41, and then we play fetch again when the kids come home from right before the kids come home from school, setting the dogs up in position to succeed. So a half an hour before the kids come home, we go outside and play fetch for 15 minutes. Then we give the dog 15 minutes to recover. When the kids come home, dogs have that energy has been spent. They're going to calm themselves down a lot better, and then we get them a habit of being calm when they come home. And as we talked about in the other video, we're not going to pet our dogs when it's excited. So after a while, the dog goes, I'm just going to go sit. I'm tired anyways. I'm just going to sit at the door. Kids come in, scratch me, play with me a little bit. It's nice and relaxed energy. And keep on, and if you keep on varying up the amount of exercise you get, eventually you'll find a combination where like, wow, that was like an A-day. Didn't chew up any blankets, didn't, listen to me very effectively. This is the routine we need to do. Now, you're going to have variations. Maybe there's one day I have cabin fever. Maybe I have to go fetch for 50 times. So use your fetch. Once you train your dog to do it, that should be like your release valve. The dog starts doing the zoomies, running around your place, or jumping up and they're not listening, take them outside and play fetch. Have treats, give them a treat after each fetch. That's okay because it's some small amount. And then eventually, you'll find out, your dog's like, oh yeah, this is great. Most of the times dogs get into trouble, they have too much unspent energy. And so if we can just get them used to burning that excess energy in an appropriate way, they're not going to chew up blankets, they're not going to chew up dog beds, they're not going to jump up on us and do all those other things. Now, the jumping up and other things, we have to teach them the behavior we want, as we talked about in the other videos. But now we've taken the edge off, just like children in school, they send them to recess for a reason. Dogs are supremely better athletes, much better athletes than we are. So burning off the excess energy for the next couple of years. Once they turn about 3 to 4, they really mellow out a lot. And some dogs need more, just like people. Some people are high energy, some people are low energy. Finding the right combination that's going to put Gavin in position to succeed and satisfy his exercise needs is going to put him in a position to behave much better and to be more of the dog that you're looking for. So this is how we can use exercise and teach your dog to fetch to burn off excess energy.